back-breaking jolt to break the shaft this way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a rope back there in the wagon. We'll have you up in a minute.
All right.
Put this under your arm.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. My books. All right.
Are you hurt any?
Lucky that ledge broke your fall.
I didn't fall. I climbed down there.
Climb down.
You went over the side? Ain't you got any better thoughts of living?
Well, I had to get my books. What would people think if I came into Boonsboro without my books?
Boonsboro?
That's right. I'm going to Boonsboro to see Daniel Boone.
Well, you're seeing him now. I'm Daniel Boone.
You're Daniel Boone? Well, that's wonderful. Mr. Boone, I've been looking forward to... Francis Clover, Boonsboro's new school teacher.
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripplingest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. What a boon, what a doer, what a dream come truer. What a boon, what a doer, what a dream come truer was he.
Won't find much there, Daniel. I've been near cleaned out this past week.
What about the supplies from Salem?
They're running late. Or maybe they'd come with him. You all right up there?
Fine, sir. Just fine. I'll be with you in just a minute.
Well, he's got a lot of learning books. He speaks sort of scholarly, but for a school teacher, he sure don't appear likely looking. Looks more like a peddler to me.
Well, he's a school teacher, all right. Good one, from what I hear.
Probably all be a lot better off if he was a peddler.
Well, gentlemen, do I meet with your approval? What I meant was, I was fortunate in having a clean set of attire, and I thought that a school teacher should look, presentable. Shouldn't he? Presentable, I mean?
Oh, well, you look fine, Mr. Clover. Don't he, boys?
Just fine.
That poker ought to be about ready, Cincinnatus.
Poker, Daniel?
Yeah, for the drinks. We were just about to have a little refreshment. Will you join us?
Oh, that would be nice. Thank you.
You, drinking man, Mr. Clover?
Well, not really. No, but this is a rather special occasion. And after all, I did come out here hoping to find excitement and adventure.
And a little peace and quiet, I hope.
Amen.
And abolition of ignorance. It does have a rather distinctive flavor, doesn't it?
My mother's favorite recipe.
She must have been a remarkable woman, sir. Now, I'm sure that the parents are very anxious for me to start classes immediately.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say that exactly.
Well, fact is, they'll be wanting to size you up.
Size me up?
There's some gathering outside right now just to meet you.
They'll be expecting a school teacher to look solemn, impressive, dignified, inspiring, bold, self-reliant, and wise beyond all understanding.
Perhaps my shirt isn't quite correct.
Oh, looks fine.
I have another one right upstairs. It's more, solemn, dignified.
Mr. Clover.
Rebecca?
The new school teacher. Have you seen him?
Oh, I just heard he arrived.
Married?
You'll have to ask him that yourself, Martha.
Mind you smile at him now, here.
Can we see him?
We've been asked to wait, Rebecca. The school teacher wants to make a presentable appearance.
Why all the bother? It's probably a spindle-shanked, squint-eyed, high-sounding jaybird spouting off at the mouth from a head full of nonsense.
We best clear a path to the door before calamity strikes again.
All this flour.
I am sorry, Mr. Cincinnatus.
Well, your being sorry ain't going to help put this flour back up on my shelves.
I look all right?
Fine.
Mr. Clover, you see Jake Gurney when you was in Salem?
Oh, the trader, yes. Yes, I did.
Why didn't you come with him and our supplies?
I couldn't wait. You see, Mr. Gurney said he might not be able to leave for about 2 weeks.
You're sure about that?
So he said. Some trouble about getting men, I believe.
Well, you going outside and meet the folks. We'll be with you in a few minutes. Oh, Mr. Clover, it'll help you if you take a book out with you. I imagine the folks will be expecting it.
Thank you, Mr. Boone. I'm Francis Clover.
Mr. Clover, I'm Rebecca Boone. And these are my children, Jemima and Israel.
How'd you do, Mr. Clover?
Mrs. Boone, of course. My sincere pleasure.
No matter. Smile at him anyway, here.
Yes, Mama.
Now, this here book you're holding. Say anything in there about coming in out of the rain?
No, sir. It doesn't say anything about that.
Well, if it ain't written in the book, what am I supposed to do, Mr. Teacher? Just stand there in the rain?
And the truth of the matter is, there ain't gunpowder enough left to singe a sparrow. We'll run clean out 4 or 5 days.
Any of the others know about this?
Well, that ain't exactly something I run off at the mouth about.
We'll keep it that way. Yeah, you and me'll make a lightning trip to Salem, pick up 100 weight to hold us over.
But, Daniel, that's going to take more than 5 days.
Well, then you better hold on to what you've got until we can get back.
Well, everybody's been looking forward to that. But now I guess we're just going to have to call it off.
Sounds like our friend Clover's causing more sport than he is abolishing ignorance.
We better go out and lend him a hand before he gets into more trouble.
And I don't see no place in this here book where it tells a man to put on heavy underwear, come a cold nip in the air.
Dan.
Leave him be, Becky. Even a schoolteacher's got things to learn.
Well, Mr. Schoolteacher, you show me where it says something else besides nonsense in this here book.
Can you read Mr.
Moses Hennepin.
Hennepin?
And I'm pleased to state I never wasted my time.
Well, then, Mr. Hennepin, you've been doing some wonderful guessing, because there's not a word in this book about coming in out of the rain. Not a word in this book about when to change to heavy underwear. But listen to this, Mr. Hennepin. Corn is best planted in early May. Place 4 kernels in each mound, 1.5 feet apart.
We all know that without having to read about it.
Of course you know that, Mr. Hennepin. That's why I read it, so you'd know this is not all nonsense. Books contain many wonderful things, things that you and your children will never know about unless you learn to read. All the wisdom and knowledge of the human race is in books.
Mercy me. How did I ever manage to come so far without all this wisdom and knowledge?
But have you managed, Mr. Hennepin? Do you have a deed to your land?
Sure I do.
Because someone told you you do. If you can't read, how do you know it's a deed? Mr. Hennepin, you don't even know if you own your own land. And the rest of you, how many of you know arithmetic? Can add, subtract? Well, then the rest of you are at the mercy of any sharp-eyed trader who has an account book and can do his own sums. Present company accepted.
Amen.
Well, Boonsboro is ready for a little learning. That's why Rebecca and I invited Mr. Clover to come here. We think he's a good school teacher, and we're going to send our children to him. And I hope enough of you will do the same so that he can stay here in Boonsboro. That's about the size of it. Think it over.
Miss Clover, what's your fee?
Well, sir,
You a married man, Mr. Clover.
no, not exactly.
Well, now, being a single man, you'll be needing a place to stay, and it just so happens that I...
He's already said he'll be staying with us.
Shawnee are moving towards Boonesboro.
You saw them?
They wearing paint? They'll put it on when the time suits them. And Daniel, they're being led by Chief Saugus.
Saugus. He's sworn to wipe out Boonsboro.
Daniel, we ain't got powder enough to stop an attack.
Saugus is vicious, but he's also cautious. He'll make sure we're pretty short before he moves in.
If you're thinking of sending for powder, Daniel, Chief Saugus has parties watching the river and the trail to Salem. Shawnee have a great deal of powder.
Who'd give powder to them devils?
I don't know, but they have it. I'll find out what I can.
Where'd they get that powder?
Well, it doesn't matter much now. I'm more interested in bluffing Saugus for the next 2 weeks.
Mr. Boone, I've been promised 12 pupils already.
It's a good start.
Oh, and Mr. Cincinnatus, about your supplies, I almost forgot to tell you, you don't have to worry about gunpowder. 2 Indians will be here shortly to deliver the powder.
Engines? Gunpowder?
Yeah, you see, Mr. Gurney figured you'd be running a little bit short, and since I decided to come down early anyway, he gave me 100 pounds to bring along with me. However, after a few days, it proved most difficult with my small wagon and all my books, but fortunately, I encountered 2 Indians, and I actually persuaded them to deliver it.
What tribe?
Tribe? I don't know.
I know.
I guess we all know. Shawnee.
Oh, may I help you, Miss Jemima?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Clover, but I can manage. Hannibal! Hannibal! Hannibal!
Isn't this a beautiful morning, Mrs. Boone? So fresh and clear.
Oh, indeed it is, Mr. Clover.
Mr. Clover, this is Hannibal.
Oh, Israel, what a splendid bird.
You like him, Mr. Clover?
Oh, I should say I do. We should get about 3 dozen excellent goose quill pins from him.
Not off Hannibal, you won't.
I didn't mean to hurt his feelings.
Probably hurt Hannibal's more. Israel, come quickly.
Rebecca, take Israel inside. You too, Mr. Clover. Take your time, Jemima. Fill the buckets, then come inside. Bonnie Nodin.
Magnificent, aren't they? Almost like the Homeric Greeks.
They're shiny, Mr. Clover, just like the ones you gave the powder to.
Jemima, now you apologize to Mr. Clover.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clover.
Guess I just want a drink of water.
Mr. Boone, I'd like to talk to them.
I wouldn't recommend it.
They seem peaceful enough.
Let's just leave well enough alone, Mr. Clover.
Look, I have had experience with Indians. As a matter of fact, I taught them back in Stonington.
Pequots, gay headers.
Yes, that's right. But in my experience, Indians, when treated firmly and fairly, are no trouble. I've never known one to be hostile without provocation.
I can't speak for the Pequots, but the sight of a white man with a full head of hair has been known to provoke the Shawnee.
The two I met on the trail didn't give a hint of violence.
It might be that they were in shock because you gave them the powder.
And if I hadn't given them the powder, wouldn't that have really provoked them?
No question. It would have irritated them a great deal more.
Well, then perhaps my giving them the powder removed the source of irritation.
Well, let's just hope that none of us are removed in the bargain.
Mr. Boone, I think you're inclined to exaggerate.
Not one bit.
Well, if that's true, then perhaps my well-meaning action might have endangered the entire settlement. No. No, I can't believe that. It just isn't logical.
Go inside, Mr. Clover.
Go, you go. Boone, my friend.
Welcome, Saugus. It's been a long time.
I come to trade in Boonsboro.
Good. The great Saugus is always welcome in Boonsboro, if he comes to trade.
Tell your people of the fort I come in peace. Only to trade. If your people have enough supplies to trade.
There's more than enough. I'll go with you after I speak with my family.
Saugus claims he has some furs he wants to trade. We've been expecting him to come nose around and see how we're fixed for powder. Mr. Clover, go out the back way. Go to the fort. Tell Cincinnatus and Yadkin that I'm bringing Saugus in. They'll know what to do.
Yes, sir.
You stay close.
Dad?
Cincinnatus, Saugus wants to do some trading.
I'll be right in.
While you're at it, let me have a hornful of your best.
In due time. Only got the one pair of hands.
Well, there you are, Saugus. Look around.
There's nothing here.
There's not much for a fact. But you know we're overdue from Salem on supplies, don't you?
Rush. Everybody hurrying me. Here, Daniel.
Maybe I ought to start buying my powder by the barrel.
Might be a good idea if everybody did. Sure be a lot easier on my aching feet. I tell you, there's enough powder in that magazine to supply it by the barrel. All right, Saugus, let's see them pelts.
Mattis, you thieving rascal. You old scoundrel, you.
What stirred you up?
I bought 2 horn number 3 fine powder, and just look at that.
I ask you, Daniel, can you prime a rifle with that?
Nope. Seems kind of poor to me.
It's like river gravel. It's worse than that.
All right, so I made a little mistake. Amongst all them barrels of powder, I must have picked the wrong one.
No.
Now, just ease off, Yad. I'll make it up to you.
You better watch him, Saugus. With his ways, he'll skin you alive.
Empty shelves. No supplies. Yet you have so much powder.
I always like to lay in plenty.
Then trade me powder.
You know better than that, Saugus. No powder, no whiskey.
No powder, no whiskey.
Oh, look here. This must have fallen.
We're having a turkey shoot day after tomorrow.
Then I must ask to see the shooting.
You're welcome.
Did I do something wrong?
We had him convinced. Nailed to the wall, and then you hang up that darn sign.
I thought it fell.
You thought it fell.
Let him be. He didn't know. If we're going to put on a show, we might as well put it on for Saugus. That means we're going to have to let the whole settlement know.
Ain't gonna take kindly to him.
Hello, Mr. Clover.
Good morning, Israel. Surely you don't plan on bringing Hannibal to class with you.
Appears there ain't gonna be no class today, Mr. Clover.
There isn't going to be any class.
I know there ain't. That's what I said.
There is no such word as ain't.
Oh?
What do you mean there won't be any school today?
Reckon you'd find out soon enough. Mr. Clover? I don't think Hannibal would mind if you was to take just one goose quill. I mean, if you need it for writing and stuff.
That won't be necessary now. But thank you anyway, Israel. And thank you, Hannibal. If the others aren't coming, why did you come here today?
Pa and me talked it over, and we decided that you didn't mean what you done.
What I did?
Yes, sir. Mom is coming too, as soon as she finishes her chores. Come on, Hannibal. Now you stay there and be a good boy.
Take him right here. We'll find out what happened. All right, Mr. Schoolteacher. Come.
Tell him who gave what to them Shawnee.
Mr. Clover, we've been told you gave gunpowder to the Shawnee.
I've made no secret of it.
Here? I've been saying it's foolishness to bring in book learning. I say let's run him.
Please, Hannibal. We're not unfair, Mr. Clover, and we don't hold it against you either. What you did through ignorance.
Ignorance. I made a very careful, deliberate, and intelligent decision before I gave them the gunpowder.
You don't give powder to them devils.
They are not devils. They're human beings. They have just as much right as any of us.
Mr. Clover, if anything goes wrong at that turkey shoot, you'll find out if we're dealing with good or evil. You don't know our problems, Mr. Clover. You don't understand them. And that makes you ignorant in our eyes.
This man is a fool. Let's send him packing.
Now, he's a fool in our ways, but maybe not in his. And out here, it's our ways that count, Mr. Clover. We just can't send our children to be taught by a fool.
Calling me ignorant. A fool. They're the fools. They're the ones who are ignorant. And I don't have to stay here and be treated like this, so I'm leaving. Let them live in their ignorance.
Mr. Clover? If you leave now, Mr. Clover, who's going to teach us?
Israel, you're too young to know about these things. The people here just refuse to understand me.
Meaning no disrespect, Mr. Clover. But seems you're also refusing to understand them. Mr. Clover, my pa always says, understand is like a shilling coin. It's got to have two sides.
All right, Israel. I'll try. I'll try to make them accept me.
Burning up powder off a fast handle.
If that don't convince him, I don't know what we can do.
We ain't got but about 2 rounds left per man.
Pass the word to the men to start stalling. I'll try to end it with my shot.
The woods are swarming with Shawnee, hiding and waiting.
I figured as much.
That ought to bring home the bird. Don't start plucking those feathers yet, Mose.
Your barefoot luck.
That's skill, Mose. Skill.
Amos, I'll give you a week's plowing if I don't beat that shot against your sending your boy to Clover school.
I can't take that bet, Donald.
That does it, men. Ain't nobody gonna beat that shot.
Thank you, Mr. Boone, for trying.
Well, I thought maybe I'd be able to tempt Amos. He hates plowing almost as much as I do.
Well, you needn't have gone to all that bother just for me.
I was thinking about the children who won't get schooling for maybe a year if we have to send for another school teacher.
But you can't change your opinion of me, Mr. Boone. That's something I'm going to have to do myself. Do you remember me? I remember you very well. I gave you some powder to bring to Boonsboro, and you stole it. You'll have to give it back, you know.
Say, Petchow.
I know you want powder, so I'll make a bargain with you. You keep half of the powder and bring the other half back. I'm being more than fair with you fellas, and I think you know it. That powder belonged to the settlers in the first place, and now they need it. Badly. There's hardly any left. I'm suggesting that we share equally. It's the human thing to do.
Wrong. Spread the word. Everybody inside. Let's go, children. Inside. Let's go.
Mr. Boone! Oh, wait. It's going to be all right, Mr. Boone. You're going to get your powder back. You see those two Indians? They're the ones I gave the powder to. And I told them how badly you need the powder.
Let's go.
Look, Mr.
Clover,
Boone.
inside. There's
Boone,
no
you don't
time for
understand.
open discussion.
You don't understand, Mr. Boone.
Close the gate.
Man the firewall. Cincinnati's get what powder's left. You women and children into the tavern.
Boone,
Speak your piece.
we know you can't make a fight. Give yourselves up. Open the gate, and we'll let you go back over the mountains in peace.
We'll have to think about it. Give us some time.
We'll give you till morning.
Mr. Hennepin, I'm sorry. I just wish...
We don't know for sure. He might let us go off safe.
No, he would not.
At least it's some kind of a chance.
That's no chance at all. Saugus just wants to get in here easy.
Yeah, he could get in easy enough. I ain't heard any other ideas.
Ask him. He's got everything worth knowing in them books of his'n. All he has to do is look it up and tell us just what to do.
Quiet, Mose.
Daniel?
There's not even any place we can go for help.
Well, maybe we can parley with him in the morning.
He has no need to parley.
It all comes back to needing powder.
Mr. Boone, I do have a book.
I got a better idea. Let's throw him over the wall to them right now.
Go on.
It describes how to make gunpowder.
Well, that's just dandy.
If no one else has a better idea, maybe we'd better listen.
Just what does it take, Mr. Clover?
Well, sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter, I believe.
Well, I got some sulfur.
We've got plenty of charcoal at the blacksmith shop, but no saltpeter.
That limestone cave about 4 miles upriver. It has a small deposit of saltpeter in it.
If you had all of these things, could you make gunpowder?
I'm not sure.
We've got nothing to lose but trying. Mr. Clover, you better get your books.
Yes, sir.
Daniel. We'll run him a noisy trail away from the stream.
How's it coming, Becky?
Fine, Cincinnati.
That ought to be almost enough. Oh, now, I'll need some water and a good strong cloth to dry the mixture. Oh, and maybe I better get me a place by myself in case something goes wrong.
Where's Daniel? Ain't he back yet? No.
Split up. I thought surely he'd be here by now.
He'll have the devil's own time coming through that.
Ma, is Pa back yet?
Go back to sleep, Israel. I'll tell you when he comes.
It's getting awful late.
Mr. Clover, when you get that saltpeter, how long will it take you?
The book wasn't at all clear on that.
If you can do it at all.
That's Daniel. Open the gate.
Here's your saltpeter, Mr. Clover.
Thank you, Mr. Boone. I hope it works.
So do we.
Streaking light in the east, Daniel.
Let's go see how Clover's coming along.
Daniel's still in there.
Mr. Clover.
I'm finished, sir. There.
I'll start passing it out.
It's not very good quality. I'm not at all sure it'll work in your rifles.
We haven't got time to test it out.
Can't call this gunpowder.
Come on, Yad.
Looks more like dirty brown sugar.
Mr. Yadkin!
It works. Daniel, glory be, it works.
It's even worse quality than I thought.
The answer is no. You'll have to come and get it.
Light 'em, boys.
Wait till we're close. Congratulations, Mr. Clover. Oh, before I have to go and face the ladies, I don't suppose you've got a book tucked away anywhere that'll tell me how to replace their cooking utensils.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Boone.
Well, it worked.
Sure did.
Well done, Mr. Clover.
Thank you.
Nice going, Miss Clover.
That book learning is good, mister.
I thought perhaps after what happened that
I'm sorry, Mr. Clover.
All right, children, set.
Well, I think the class is about ready. Good morning, children.
Good morning, Mr. Clover.
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. From the gooseskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripplingest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. What a boom, what a doer, what a dream come a truer, what a boom, what a doer, what a dream come a truer was he.